Hey, surprise, surprise.
Here we are again, episode 11.
Woo wee. So we are recording for the first time, and we don't know how this is going to turn out.
We'll find out.
We will find out. It may look terrible.
We're on
But we
screen,
look awesome.
so it's going to look terrible.
Well, there's that. So we have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about, do we?
Not really. I'm a little concerned about. I always heard that the camera adds 10 pounds. That looks like it added a few more than 10 to me.
No, I don't think so.
Probably 12.
Maybe 12.
Yeah.
So we, what's been going on? Is there anything you're wanting to talk about?
No, let's just chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see about this big reveal of the Pyramid of Giza?
I saw that where they use like LiDAR,
Yeah,
or whatever to look down, and for kilometers is what they say, however far that is.
which is
we use American standard here,
right.
But yeah, of like what would they call them? Like columns, I guess, with spirals around them.
Yeah,
or coils around them.
right.
What do you think that is?
Well, I've been kind of went down a rabbit hole the past 6 months, really, when it comes to podcasts, and there's been some theories on that. And I think the guy's name is Randall Carlson, and his theory before this came out was that the pyramid was actually some kind of power generator.
Yes, yeah, I've heard
Have
that
you heard
one's
about
been
that? Yeah. And so if this is, dude, this right here, if this is true, and there's been some skeptics, as there should, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, they're going to have to definitely to find proof. They're going to have to dig underneath.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think the Egyptians are going to allow that.
No. No, I can't imagine they would.
Or if this is true, do you think the powers that be would want this revealed?
No, you know how that would, if it actually is a power source, and because the idea behind, or the ones that I've seen anyways, is basically their alignment with the stars and going down and using like a geothermal energy source, or whatever, from within the earth.
Yeah.
So if it's able to just do that just by having this built, and that's it, and you see how long it's lasted,
yeah,
then it's going to ruin economies. It's going to take down a lot of really rich people, and that's not so easy to do.
For sure.
So no, I don't think they would allow it.
Yeah.
That'd be wild, though.
Right. Well, I mean, it poses a lot of questions, some fundamental questions about like our ancient history as well. Yeah. You know, I mean,
there's nothing new under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun. This kind of technology is, if that is true, what they have seen underneath the pyramid, then I mean, this is a civilization that was more advanced than we are right now. We don't have the capability to do something like that.
No.
I mean, if this is true.
No, they don't even know how it would work.
No.
Like you're talking about if they do actually allow them to excavate it and go in, really study it and research it and try to replicate it, you're talking decades of reverse engineering.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Unless Grok just tells us how to do it.
Yeah, Grok may know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I think it came out, what was that? That announcement was on the 15th, I think, 15th or 16th. They did some kind of press conference. I mean, these are actual archaeologists that did this. But, you know, I don't think definitely there's not a consensus that this is for sure what's underneath the pyramid. But it's apparently some kind of new radar technology that gave them the capabilities to, and it was based on the way these radars were coming back. I don't know how to explain it, but it's fascinating that they're able to do that, you know, if this works.
They've been using LiDAR for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of it's been done in the Amazon forest to find these different, like ancient civilizations, basically.
Yeah.
And they've found structures because of LiDAR that you wouldn't be able to see. People have walked right past them.
Right.
And it just looks like trees and growth. They don't know. and that LiDAR shows the different angles, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of sounding a little off. Let me move this a little closer to me. Does that sound a little better? I don't know.
It sounded fine a while ago.
Just kind of had an echo, it sounded like.
Oh.
So, I don't know. But yeah. The whole, before this came out, that, some of the podcasts I'd or listened to with, you familiar with Graham Hancock?
No, not that one.
No, he doesn't claim to be an archaeologist. He claims to be a reporter, and he's digging areas where archaeologists have kind of brushed off and haven't really tried to research further. But he really thinks that there was civilizations prior, much further back. We're talking not, we weren't. He claims we weren't hunter-gatherers the past, maybe 15,000 years ago. Something happened. There was this apocalypse and completely wiped off the previous civilization. And he has some theories on it and some quote unquote evidence, but I just find it's fun to think about, if there was and you can kind of link it to, if you want to, because I thought about that too. I'm like, okay, so if this is true, like where would you link this into the scriptures, right?
The flood.
You could claim that, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I guess there's some evidence of that, or at least enough to base a theory on.
Yeah.
How big was the ark? I think it was huge.
Right.
And Noah and his sons built it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big undertaking. But if they had some sort of technology to help them build it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, it also took a really long time to build.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. And then, the flood comes and wipes everything away.
Yeah. Yeah. It
is fun to think about. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily buy it, but
I don't either. I mean, you're definitely going to have to come up with some hard evidence to, which means they're going to have to dig underneath. And I don't see that happening.
No.
Unless they improve the technology in a way that is able to test. Maybe they go to another area, not even the pyramids. So you could test it if somewhere in the world where maybe there's an area we were wanting to see what's underground. And we could test it in that way by, doing those scans and then digging in that area to see if it's proof
if it's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could test the technology that way. But that still wouldn't, there would still be naysayers because it's not that specifically, but it could give us a little more confidence that this
a better idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that's what's been on my mind past couple of days. It's been all over X.
Yeah, it's been all over TikTok too.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see if
they've done some pretty cool renderings because, they take their original scan and then they got to dig through the data from the scan and kind of, it gives you a visual with that scan, but there's been some pretty cool renderings that people have posted on TikTok of what they think it might look like.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting to look at.
Like you see the ones where there was coils.
Yeah, coils, and they had them like blue.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were, before we started recording, you were talking about some land.
Yes.
Yeah. Land.
We still want land.
Yes. Want some land. So how would we, in theory, right? Say we bought 20 acres. Okay. We bought 20 acres. In theory, how would we go about starting the process of doing our, starting getting cattle Definitely we'd have to make sure we'd have to get a fence for sure. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. A fence, probably plant some corn stalks on the perimeter to hide the marijuana we're growing in the center.
Good idea. Yeah.
Oh, wait, we're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh.
No, yeah, I mean, fence, you got to get well dug so you can get water in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but the wind doesn't really blow around these parts. So we need a windbreak.
Yeah.
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 Just money and time.
Money and time. The two things we don't really have, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
That's what I was talking to my other buddy about that because I used to work in the oil field. And it was like, yeah, I mean, kind of miss making the money like that, but I had money in no time.
Yeah.
And
no time to enjoy it, really.
Now I've got more time and not as much money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There's a trade out in there.
Right. Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, what do you do with the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we make from this show?
Oh, I donate it to the sperm bank.
Man, this dude's just a gentleman. Tell you what.
And I don't donate the money to the sperm bank, but I donate to the sperm bank. Yeah.
Okay.
The money's sitting back for when all these kids come back and say, "You're my dad." Here
you go.
Go to college.
Here you go. Here's your pappy. Here's your pappy money right here.
Yeah.
Any stories that stuck out to you this week?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about a big nothing sandwich, JFK files were released.
Yeah, and they're kind of still. I think they released even more yesterday. I don't know what to make of that. Well,
okay, so from what I've seen, there's nothing to make of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing there.
Right.
I'm sure there is, but it's not released to us.
Yeah.
What kind of irritates me on that is I don't know if you remember back in Trump's first term, he was supposed to release these.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asked why he didn't release them. He said, well, if you had seen what I'd seen in there, you wouldn't want to release it either.
Exactly.
Right. So now it's released. He's like, oh, we're not going to redact anything. It's all going to be released. And he was asked about it again. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything in there. But yeah, we're not redacting anything.
Yeah.
Well, then what was that statement for the last term?
Doesn't add up.
No, it don't add up.
No.
What was in there that caused you not to release it?
Mm-hmm.
That we're not seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people are speculating that maybe there's something in there that has to do with something else they were trying to hide.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there may be, but there's definitely answers we need about the JFK assassination that we're not getting.
Yeah. Did you you remember the interview that Kash Patel did with Glenn Beck? Do you remember that? It's
about seeing the 9/11 files, and I've seen all the JFK files.
And the JFK files. Yeah. But then he kind of elaborated on the JFK files. He said basically what you want to know has already been out there. You're not asking the right questions. He said that it's something totally different than what you think. So it's like, okay, then what are those questions?
Good. Now that it's released, Kash, tell us.
Yeah. Come on. We
don't want subtle hints. We want answers.
Exactly. Something, I'll just say it. They're not being transparent.
No, not at all.
They're not. Pam Bondi with the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
That was a joke. Now the JFK files, we don't really know exactly what the hell we're looking at, really.
And there's so much of it. It's going to take time to dig through. But there's a lot of people digging through it. Something would have surfaced by now.
And they're using AI to dig through it.
Yeah.
Just, helping us. You're able to look through it much faster.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's something's off.
Yeah. We're being kept in the dark still.
Yep. Yeah. There's some things never change really.
No.
It depends.
No, and it's
even
irritating.
If you have I've really liked what this administration's done so far, except when it comes to revealing these big secrets.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is
To me, that was
fundamental.
at the top 10,
Yeah.
and we're just being played like a bunch of fools.
Yeah. We've got to get the trust back in somewhat trust. Obviously, we still need to remain skeptical of the government,
Yeah.
but the amount of distrust, I don't remember having this amount of distrust. Maybe it's been a while, 15 years ago, maybe. But that may have been just my lack of interest too.
It may have been. The older you get, the more you
Yeah.
pay attention and
Yeah.
realize. So that could be part of it. But even you look at, well, never mind. I was about to say you look at our parents and it wasn't that bad, but with my dad, it was.
Yeah.
He didn't trust him either.
My dad
so
too. Yeah. Especially.
maybe we're just catching up. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and just like you said earlier, there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
The 60s were pretty wild, with the assassinations, and you had the Vietnam War with the protests. It just was chaos, right? So I imagine it was probably pretty similar feeling to how it has been the last 10 years when it comes to confusion and lack of trust in the government and chaos.
Yeah.
But that's frustrating.
Yeah. Chaos makes it pretty easy for them to hide stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It just, the JFK release really, it just kind of, it poses more questions. It doesn't really answer.
It honestly just feels like we were flipped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they better be careful, man. This is going to backfire.
It's going to affect the midterms. It's going to affect the 2028 election.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, we're not the only ones. There's a lot of independents. There's a lot on the left that want to see this stuff too.
Yep.
And you could sway them.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of this direction by revealing the truth.
Right. Well, a lot of those people that did vote for Trump this time around are, your moderate liberal or previously was they still consider themselves a liberal, but they feel like the Democrat Party left them. For example, like Joe Rogan, for example, I mean, I don't really think he's changed much. The dude was for Bernie Sanders like 4 years ago or something like that. It just, the Democratic Party has just became so chaotic, and they just need to be careful because
and that's the problem with, I mean, where we are. I mean, we've had the right and we've had the left, and you've got the center, and every party is moving to the left. The liberals are just moving there faster than we are. We're moving towards the center, and it's going to eventually trek on to the left.
Yeah.
And it's not a question of if the Republican Party is going to remain conservative. It's how long we're going to remain conservative.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. So what do you think about these judges, these rogue judges stopping basically everything?
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Well, there's a role for judges, but it shouldn't be to just completely squash an elected government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you look at I saw a chart where it showed these nationwide injunctions by these federal judges, the district court judges, which is the lower ones, right? And each time compared to Obama, and then it was Bush and Clinton, I mean, it was massive compared to, Trump. Each term, there was so many, in comparison, there was most of the numbers were in the Trump era.
Yeah.
So you ask yourself,
no
why
surprise there.
Yeah. And then, I'm sure the liberal argument would be, well, there's a reason for that. That's because he's violating the Constitution,
I have a hard time anytime a liberal mentions the Constitution.
Right. Yeah. But the whole Venezuela gang members,
Yeah.
Goodness.
Hey, that one was pretty funny.
The video.
The judge coming in, hey, yeah, you can't send them over there, and he's like, anyways, we're going to send them over there.
Yeah, I know.
And that he has every right to.
Yeah, that's still going on too. There was yesterday, I think there was a hearing. He had 5 questions he wanted answered from the administration, and then something, I can't remember exactly the whole detail on it, but dude was being kind of an asshole too. Like, just,
Yeah.
I don't know, the ego to his head, the power. Like, dude, you're just from some freaking district court judge.
Yeah.
Like, what the freak, man? You have the ability to stop the whole federal government
Yeah.
from doing what it's supposed to do.
Literally what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. These are the powers vested into the executive branch that he's operating on. And I don't know. The argument is that from those that are worried about these lovely gang members, the argument is that not all of these possibly are gang members, and that there's some other illegal immigrants that were thrown into that and are now in this El Salvador prison.
It's a beautiful prison.
It is beautiful. Which I could see the concern there. You don't want to. We
want to make sure that we're sending the people that deserve to go there for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't shut the whole thing down. You go through and weed out and find the ones that didn't belong.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But just don't shut it down.
No.
But you were talking about the videos. Were you talking about the videos that the White House released about shipping them off?
Yeah, I saw the videos of them actually going into the prison, and like the gang members, they had to keep their heads down. Yeah. They were shaving their heads.
Yeah. I saw that one too. It
looked intense.
I was talking. There's a little documentary about that prison. You ought to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's intense.
Is it? I imagine so.
But I was talking about the video where they were actually loading them up on the plane. They're like, they had that song on. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
No, I didn't see that video.
Singing, "Who do you want to send you home?" And it pulls up a Border Patrol pickup. That was funny.
I did see the meme of, I don't know if the White House put it out. I think it was on the White House.
Probably
X,
the White House been putting a lot out.
And it was Trump and his McDonald's, where he's, you remember he did the drive-through thing?
Yeah.
And he's like, has his hand out of the drive-through window like he's waving goodbye. Yeah. Whoever's doing those troll tweets definitely needs a raise.
Yeah, they're on point.
Yeah. It's probably Barron.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It's like, Barron, I need you to type this up for me, okay? Make sure you include this.
Get on the TikTok.
Yeah. Whatever the kids are doing these days.
Holy. That's not the worst Trump impression I've heard. That was that wasn't bad.
No, well, I thought it was pretty bad, but
better than mine.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I hope this recording's working okay.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Hi guys.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Yeah. What else is going on, brother?
Man, I'm trying to think. There was and I don't know if it's actually true what actually happened or whatever, but there's this trucker on TikTok. He's been posting TikTok videos a lot, but he posted a TikTok video saying that he got stopped in Arkansas at a way station and that he was given a test. They gave him a card and had a bunch of English phrases on it or whatever. And they told him to read it. And so he read it to himself. And they're like, no, we need you to read it out loud. And he's like, okay. So he read it out loud. And then they had him write certain things or whatever. Supposedly, this is what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking what that was all about. And they said, well, we're making sure that you can read and write English good enough to drive and understand roadway signs and whatever else. And if you couldn't, then there's a $10,000 fine. You lose your license. And if you don't pay it up front, then you go to jail. And so that's what he's claiming or whatever. I don't really think that's true.
Yeah.
There already is federal laws for CDL holders that you're required to be able to read and write English well enough to understand road signs
Yeah.
and to communicate with emergency personnel
Mm-hmm.
and the general public, whatever. There's already laws on the book for that.
Yeah.
But Arkansas is trying to pass another bill that's basically the same thing as the federal law, but they're doing it for their state.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is just some BS that he put out there or whatever. It hasn't been verified, but it's blown up. I thought it was kind of funny. Everybody's getting their panties in a wad.
Yeah.
And, oh, how dare they? Well, I don't think that actually happened. That's crazy if that actually happened.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be driving, you probably should be able to read a stop sign or a yield sign, or,
You would think,
you know.
I mean, that's kind of fundamental to driving.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't.
You know.
So I don't know.
Who knows?
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I saw this meme where it was like a standoff, like a Western standoff where they got their 6 shooters, and one of them is like this white dude, and I think he's it's saying like me threatening to call ICE on this illegal immigrant. And then there's another bubble for the illegal immigrant, and says me threatening to call the ATF on my friend's guns. It's like a standoff.
Dang.
It's like, that's pretty good.
Well, the ATF is losing a lot of their power.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah.
And that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
There should be zero regulation on my firearms. I don't own any.
Right.
Well, I did, but
you have that. You still have that Super Soaker, don't you?
I do have that one, but
the
magazine only holds 3 drops, so it's safe.
Man, those were the best. You remember those Super Soakers?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They're way better now.
Are they? They got some better ones.
My kids got some. Yeah.
Man. Huh.
I just take the water hose against them because I can't get a gun good enough to match theirs.
Could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodness. Did see egg prices are down.
Yeah.
Inflation's been going down. I think with the economy, I think it's going to take some time. I think what they're doing is they're trying to, because of how much the economy was used to or addicted to the amount of money thrown at them from the federal government, that it's going to take some time to
level out.
Yeah. But definitely they're on the right track. I just hope they don't let the noise affect them and just continue on the mission, because this is some of the things that they've been doing is what Argentina. How do you say that? Argentina. Good Lord.
You were trying to say Argentinian.
Yeah. Argentina.
Argentina.
Good grief. Well, maybe that'll be a highlight for you.
Anyways, it's a good thing you don't drive a truck.
Yeah, I know, right?
You'd be.
Y'all know who that Argentinian guy is?
Yeah.
What was his name? What's his name? The president over there.
I know who you're talking about. He's basically the Trump of Argentina.
Yeah, Trump, but much more physically conservative. I think a lot of this has been pushed on Trump. Not really pushed. I think he's just like, yeah, okay, Elon, whatever you want to do, Sounds good.
You make him sound a little gay.
But, well, just from his record and the statements he's made when it comes to debt, I didn't see this happening. I thought it was going to be more spending.
Because he did a lot of that in the first term, which was one of my biggest complaints about him.
Me too.
The first term.
And I think Elon has been a good asset when it comes to, because that's been his big argument was spending too, spending and illegal immigration before the Trump attempted assassination.
Yes.
That's what changed everything. That's when Musk endorsed Trump.
Yeah.
But before that was his big talking points was the national debt and
The
illegal
borders.
immigration. Yeah. So
And Elon's paying for doing this job too. I mean,
big
they
time,
are
man.
attacking
big time.
Tesla like crazy.
Mhm.
I just showed you that video a little bit ago where some dude in a diesel truck was driving by some protesters against Tesla on the side of the roadway, and he just started rolling coal.
Oh
on them.
yeah.
And I just find that pretty ironic and funny that somebody driving a big diesel is going against the protesters of Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Idiots,
leave
man.
my electric car company alone.
I know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, and they're supposed to be for the environment.
They're not.
No, it's a facade,
Yeah.
man. It's a facade.
Yeah.
Out
I
there
mean-
burning Teslas and shooting at them, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
Those who have ears to hear and eyes to see, if you don't see this bullshit, that's what it is, man. Freaking sick of it. It's ridiculous how much, I mean, the amount of crap and just evil intent that they are, and this is, they've been looking for something to get to Trump, and nothing's worked until this. And I don't know if it's necessarily worked with Trump, but they, it's affected Trump, and it's affected Elon.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to keep pushing this pressure on us so Elon will back out.
yeah,
And I don't,
which is crazy.
yeah.
How
Like, what the hell has he done wrong?
is anybody against saving waste?
I don't understand
Like,
it. No.
and I understand why a lot of the politicians are against it because that's their piggy bank.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that.
Yep.
But these regular citizens, supposedly,
Yep.
out there going to get, are they that brainwashed, or are they getting paid? Or, I mean, what's the,
I'm convinced they're NPCs, dude. I'm telling you.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I have to think that way because surely
It's the only thing
people
that
are
makes
not that dumb.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. Ben Stiller said it best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he said.
Well, in his movie,
What do you say?
nobody goes full retard. And they're going full retard.
That is true. That
Golly.
is- yeah.
Tropic Thunder's a good movie.
That is a good one. Man. I hope they, because it seems like comedy is making a comeback when it comes
Oh,
to just,
man.
saying the word, what you just said, retard, right? There for a while it was very, very
you'd be
politically
shamed.
correct, right?
You'd be
Or
shamed.
incorrect to say that. It's a word,
Exactly.
you know?
Me and my buddy were just talking about this. Mike, shout out.
Mike.
Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
He always
me
wears
and him
nice
were just
dresses.
talking. He does.
I like his dress.
Yeah. He always says he looks pretty in pink.
Interesting.
I don't agree. Purple's better, but
Purple?
whatever. Yeah.
Brings out his eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah. Purple and, because does he have brown eyes?
Yeah.
Purple and brown. They mix
Yep.
really well.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Every fashion designer knows this. But
Anyways.
he was talking about, he's been listening to a lot of Kill Tony
Oh, yeah.
podcasts and whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, it's just crazy because he hadn't listened to them a lot before. And he was
Mhm.
like, man, they go in there, they'll just say faggot or gay or retard or whatever.
hmm
And I was expecting the crowd to kind of like, oh,
No, I think everybody's,
and everybody's just silent, like, yeah, let's go.
yeah, I think it's everybody's kind of, or they're able to excel. Like, oh, finally we can relax.
Yeah.
And just have fun.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, well, the thing is, I don't think a majority felt that way anyways, but
I
there
don't
was
think
these
so
echo
either.
chambers that made it seem it was an illusion to where it seemed like the vast majority of people felt this way. And so they just, it was groupthink.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think that a majority of people that say those words say them in a negative way anyways. They're not saying it to be
No.
mean to somebody.
No, they're not.
And that's with anything. If I called you stupid,
I don't appreciate that.
well, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I already know him, man. I don't need to hear it from you.
But if I called you stupid and we're joking around, like, oh, stop being stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Who
Yeah.
cares? But if I look at you like, man, you are really stupid. Like, you need help.
Mm-hmm.
that's a little more offensive,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I don't
It's
think a
tone.
majority of it's what you mean by it.
Mhm.
And I don't think a majority of people that were saying stuff like that were being mean.
No, you're
With
not
their
calling
intent.
someone
Intent matters.
mentally retarded. You're not doing that. It's another word to use to illustrate the language you're trying to put forth. You're expressing yourself in a way that amplifies it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And also, I'm all about free speech. So if somebody was saying it to you and their intent was mean,
Mm-hmm.
they still have the right to say it. Who cares?
Right. For sure. Exactly. Yeah. But I think that was the vast majority of how people were using it, was that it's just it was like saying a cuss word.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to say a cuss word to express yourself. It's, when you're, I don't know, you get in an argument, sometimes it's just like at the tip of your tongue, you like, just want to say it, and then boom. You're like, oh, okay, I feel better. like I did just earlier. like I gotta say it. And I don't cuss a lot, but sometimes it's just the only way to express yourself accurately.
Yeah. I wish I didn't cuss a lot. It's a hard habit to break.
It is. Yeah. So, well, that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
You seen any movies here lately? Any shows? Any TV shows?
Nah, well, I watched some of Landman.
Been wanting to try that. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, really, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He is, but dude, he's so good in this one.
Is he?
Yeah. And there's a lot of, it kind of seems like sometimes there's some like propaganda from like the oil companies, like, hey, it's time for us to have our voice back and say something against wind or solar or whatever,
Yeah.
It seems like there's some of that in there. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
You got to definitely don't watch it around kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
A lot of cussing, some nudity.
Yeah. Have you seen Severance?
No, that sounds familiar.
Oh, dude, man, if you want to have your mind blown, if you like movies,
don't tell me about it.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't spoil anything. But if you want to have your mind just really, just kind of, it's one of those shows where you have to constantly think, and I like shows like that where it's like, it reminds me in a way of Lost.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, it does.
What's it on?
Apple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Apple Plus.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can use my login.
Shh. Yeah. Go tell me that login.
Yeah, Big Papa _
Yo, mama.
Yeah. But it's really good. Do you want me to kind of give you a synopsis of it or no?
No.
No,
I'd rather go in blind.
Okay. Really good. Highly recommended. It's one of.
Is it a movie or a series?
It's a series. They just finished
okay.
season 2.
Okay.
So.
Well, good, because Landman, I finished up that first season of it.
Yeah.
And I have nothing now. So.
Yeah. Severance is really good.
I get to watch shows on Wednesdays. So.
There you go. So for those who are watching, this is our kind of our beginning stage. This is episode number 11. And it took us 11 episodes to finally record us.
Yeah.
I think the goal, right? Our goal, I think we want to start eventually interviewing people, and just having interesting conversations. And
the goal is to take Joe Rogan down.
You're going down, Joe. You're going down, Joe. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, it's not happening.
No, we love Joe. He's cute. He's chicken, but he's.
Have you seen? I've seen a lot of those videos about Joe. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but everybody's saying he's like 5'2".
I don't think. I know he's pretty short, but I think he's like 5'6" or 5'7".
Oh, everybody's saying it's just all these videos of like women, like, oh my gosh, I'm taller. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, look it up. I wonder how tall he actually
Yeah,
is.
I will.
Because I've only, you see him on camera. I don't think I've ever really seen him stand next to anybody, but he just looks like a big dude.
He is. I mean,
Well, jacked, obviously, but
jacked.
you just mentally think of him as being tall, or I did.
Did you? Yeah. Well, just watching the USC and
See, and I don't watch
or
UFC,
US,
so
I said UFC. He's 5'8".
oh, that's not that short.
So
TikTok needs to calm down. Then that's not
Yeah.
that short.
yeah, I mean, it's short compared to
Well, to us,
you know,
but
but yeah,
that's pretty average. I think the average male height is 5'9".
as if I thought I remember seeing that in high school. It was like 5'6" or something like that.
Yeah, but then we started drinking milk. That was
Yeah, it's true.
we had a large got milk campaign, and everybody got big.
Yeah, average height for male according to Grok is 5'7".
5'7" for males.
Globally, the average
yeah,
height for
not
adult
globally.
men is approximately 5'7".
That doesn't count
In the
though,
United
because that's
States,
China.
yeah, in the United States, it's slightly higher, 5'9".
Yeah,
So
there we go. That's all that really matters.
yeah, it's all about America, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
That's right.
The rest of the world's great. Y'all have fun, but it's all about America for
That's
us.
right.
Yeah,
That's right. We should call it the America Ocean instead of the Atlantic Ocean.
we should.
That's the next one. Trump, you hearing this? Rename that bad boy. You know, just like Reagan said, tear down this wall, tear down this name, or tear down this ocean.
Rename that ocean.
Yeah. America Ocean. And then what are we going to do for Pacific?
Oh, you talk about renaming. Did you see him talking about changing DC to the District of America instead of the District of Columbia? Did you see that?
I know. I hope he does.
Well, it's a little embarrassing too at the same time, because he was caught on a hot mic
Oh, was he?
talking about it. And from what I've seen, I hope it's not, I don't know. Anyways, from what I understand, he was caught on this hot mic, and they play the clip of him talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we got to change the name from the District of Columbia. It's not even anywhere near Columbia. Why is it called District of Columbia? It's going to be District of America. It's like, what? It's not.
Oh, no.
It's not. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well,
I do hope he changes it.
You know, to be
still,
fair,
but
well, I know I've been dumb on stuff like that before.
I know, but you're not the president.
I know. I know.
You got to be held to a different standard.
No, I know. That's a dumb comment.
That was pretty bad. I cringed when I heard it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, kind of reminds me of Joe Biden's corn pop comment, you know.
Why are we talking
I know
about
corn pop.
just
Yeah.
they like
I
to
wonder if
rub
corn
my
pop is
leg hair
Jibo.
down. Dude, I hope it is.
There's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Jibo gets around, man.
Does that make us cousins to Joe Biden?
Oh, no. I almost agreed. No.
Cousin Joe? I did see that. I saw a headline that Joe and Jill are wanting to get back into politics.
What?
Yeah.
You mean Jill is wanting to get back into
Yeah,
politics?
exactly. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joe
sure.
just wants to get some damn ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he cares about.
Good grief.
Go ahead.
Well, that reminded me of the pardons. Did you see that story about
because of the auto pen?
The auto pen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's going to end up probably at the Supreme Court, but it'll be a while before that happens, I imagine. But
Yeah,
it's going to be challenged.
I'm a little torn on that. They need to go after them. They
Yeah.
need to go after Fauci for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
From what I understand, so once they're pardoned, they can't plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
And so you kind of want the pardon to stand and then him get brought in, because I want to hear it all, but then he can't be punished either. So it's kind of a
Right.
catch-22. You're kind of
Yeah.
stuck in the middle there. I'm torn on what I want to happen there.
I just want this to be in the history books. I want the truth to be in the history books, because that will be the biggest punishment, because what they want, they think they have this awesome legacy that they're going to live
Yeah.
on through history. I want the truth out so future generations see what these evil bastards did to
Yeah.
us. You know what I mean?
See, and that's where it's kind of torn on that too. Fauci's old enough now. How long is he actually going to get punished for? But yeah,
Exactly.
ruining his legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you got to hit him. Him and Schiff. That dude. I think he's probably my least favorite. I don't want to say hate, but least favorite.
It's okay to say hate. The definition of hate is the desire to change.
I get in trouble by my 3-year-old when I use that word. So
we'll just tell him the definition. Hate. The definition of hate is the desire to change.
We don't say hate, Daddy. Oh, well, okay.
You can't say pee either. So
I know, man. I'm limited in my vocab. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to say? Goodness.
Yeah. Did you see Elizabeth Warren?
Did see her at the TP conference, but is that the one you're talking about?
No. No.
Pocahontas.
So apparently they found out that she was trying to divert money from the California wildfires, that was money that was being sent over there to help the people.
Mm-hmm.
And she was trying to divert money over to
Kiowa Casino.
Yeah.
Sorry.
To Act Blue.
Oh.
Which Act Blue gives a percentage of their money to Democrats, so she'd be getting a kickback on
which
that
in turn
if that happened.
Democrats give to the casinos.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm still trying to make a connection. Go ahead. Sorry.
I know. Well, see, you keep making all those jokes. It was funny because one of these creators I follow on TikTok, she came on, she was talking about it. And that's how she started out. She's like, all right, we all heard what Pocahontas was trying to do. So come on out of your wigwam and stop hiding. I was like, oh, come on. You're good.
Oh, man. There for a minute, I kind of felt a little bad for her. And I'll tell you why. Because her story is a little similar, which I didn't claim it on anything. But that's how, because she actually grew up in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. She's from Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And I remember being told, and that's what my parents were told as well, that I had some Indian blood.
Everybody in this area was told that you had Cherokee.
Probably so, yeah. Were you told that too? Like,
oh, yeah.
That's Indian blood. And then we did the 23andMe, like.
Oh, you did that?
Well, this was about 10 years ago. So this was before all the worry, the, identity crap. But yeah, I did that. And I had 0.1% of.
So you did have some.
Yeah. I had some, but
not worth mentioning.
I had more African American in me, or not African. Well, I had more African in me. Specifically, I think it was the Congo.
No way.
Which was like 1%, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah.
My brother did the 23andMe, and my brother looks completely different than I do. He looks like he's a Mexican. He's got a different dad. And so he was always told that he had a lot of Indian in him. And
that's what, I remember you telling me that too. And he kind of looks it a little bit.
He does look it.
Yeah.
So he thought there was some Indian, Mexican, whatever. Mm-hmm. He did the 23andMe. None of that.
Italian.
No, but he's got Congolese in him.
Hey, your brother's my brother.
Probably related.
That's right. Yeah.
So we give him a hard time all the time. Well, that's a different story.
So
we won't go down that road.
What was where does he get his dark complexion then? Is it just...
we joke about it being the Congolese, but...
What was his other... Was it European? Like,
I don't remember.
Did he have
what
Italian?
Because
he kind of has
he's got some Swedish in him. I think...
He kind of looks like that Italian in a way.
He does look like a mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some Italian mob, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. If I tried to tell you what it all was, I'd be lying because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Right.
He's been trying to get me to do it.
Yeah.
I'll never do it, but I know my other sister did it as well.
Yeah. We did end up finding.
Hold on. Do you have a secret sibling?
No.
Oh, dang it.
Wasn't a secret. I had so my dad's brother, his older brother, he's passed away now. So he never knew about this. Maybe he did years ago and just never talked about it. But he had a daughter, and I found his daughter through 23andMe. And she came to one of our get-togethers would be her grandmother.
And that was her first time.
First time meeting, it was pretty cool. Yeah, she was from Oklahoma. She was a teacher,
Really?
retired teacher. Turned out she was my cousin, first cousin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know, how crazy would that be? You and your wife decide, yeah, we're going to do this 23andMe, and you find out your siblings,
I know,
or
right?
cousins, or something.
Well, she did it too because we both did it at the same time. So we're clear now. We're definitely not related.
But did you do it before or after you got married?
After.
Yeah. See I mean.
Yeah, that could have been a risk. That would have been. I bet there's stories like that.
There's
got to
happened. There's got to
be.
There's
too many people in this world.
There's a
story for everything.
Do though. You're happily married to this woman for 10 years or whatever, and then you finally decide to do this and find out your first cousins or your siblings, half siblings or something. I mean, you got to end the marriage.
Yeah, I would think, but
I don't know. That's
I don't know. Would I? I don't know. I think so if I was revealed that, I think it would probably take some time for me to get to that of wanting to. I think it would eat at me. I think at first I'd be like, no, we're just going to work through this because we had no idea and we love each other. But I think it would eventually eat at me. And I think eventually it would
push it apart.
Yeah. I think that's how it would happen. But that would be hard. Oh,
yeah,
man.
If anybody has a story like that,
yeah,
let's get you on.
Yeah, I know. Right?
I want to.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
to talk about. Yeah. Yeah. So we got
as my sister calls.
Yeah, right. Man. We teased the last episode, didn't we? That we were gonna.
I don't even remember.
I just remembered that we teased we were going to talk to the cattle guy.
Well, we teased that we would in the next episode or two, maybe.
Yeah.
I have texted him because I forgot to get a hold of him last week.
Yeah.
So I texted him this morning. I haven't heard yet, but I'm sure he's busy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely the goal. Hopefully maybe next week.
Maybe we'll find out.
We'll see. But then we also want to talk to a relative on your side, right? That.
Well, he's not my relative, but it's my sister's fiance.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That should be an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's anybody watching that is interested in having a conversation, maybe you have an interesting story. Could be about really anything, except what?
Wow,
chimpanzees. You don't like chimpanzees.
Yeah. You got to stay away from those. I mean, we've already talked about incest, so I think pretty much everything else is on the table.
That's true.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that's the goal, and it'll be much more entertaining, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, I think we're tapped out.
Yeah.
We got to stop talking so much before we do the podcast, and
I know
it'll be easier.
We always do that.
Yeah,
I know. Well, so we don't really, we're best buds, but we'll text each other maybe 2 or 3 times.
Oh, you want me to read the text messages I received from you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't text Sam.
Yeah, usually I text you with something.
Hardly ever.
Something endearing.
And then I get some like midweek crap of whore. I mean, it's
just my way of letting you know that I was thinking of you.
Yeah, literally just whore or slut or yeah, it's pretty much it.
Don't you feel loved?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, just letting you know how much I love
sometimes you. On a random Wednesday, you need that confidence.
You do,
boost.
right?
So,
like,
I mean,
man, I still got it. Apparently, I'm a slut and a whore.
Hey, I draw attention, I
right?
guess,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what was I getting at with that? So we don't talk much throughout the week just because we're not much of a talker, right? But so then when we finally meet up, we got a lot to talk about. And then bam, we start talking about it. And then like, oh, we probably should
Supposed to hit record.
So, and our memories is about as bad as whatever animal has a bad memory.
Yeah, goldfish.
Elephant.
Yeah.
There's elephant.
No, elephants have great memories.
They do.
Goldfish.
Goldfish.
I wish my.
Like I said, bad memory. Goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So as bad as an elephant in whatever capacity that is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you got nice hair today.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He combed it.
No.
No, he didn't. Oh, hell. Well, it's been fun, and you're still a horse left to me.
Yeah. Love you too, honey.
Mm-hmm. So,
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
bye, everybody.
Bye.